Daddy is back, and before we watch Daddy's inauguration speech, I figured I should let some of you know. I should warn you, yes, things are going to be changing, and many of you will be in jail soon for speaking afoul of our great leader or anyone else in his administration. The good news is that you will have jobs while you're in jail. And most of you won't end up being in there for as long as the January 6th people. It's going to be 3 months of re-education and 6 to 18 months of forced labor, depending on the severity of your crimes. Okay, so that's under 2 years. You guys can do that. It's not going to be that bad. And while you're in jail for your crimes, you will be doing great services for this country, like building the wall, building asylums and rehab centers that we so desperately need. And many of you will end up in those rehabs and asylums after you've built them. But you get to have a good story while you're talking to the El Salvadorian orderlies before they hand you your Thorazine. Did you know that I helped build this asylum? But then it will be lights out for you for a while, and then when you wake up, Trump will no longer be in office, although let's be honest, it's probably going to be Vance next. So we'll have to keep you on the Thorazine for a little while longer. Now let's get into Daddy's speech.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
Oh. Well, first of all, he looks better here than he normally does. I like that he's less orange in this lighting. Maybe they're using a different sunless tanner. I don't understand why he uses the sunless tanner on his face, but it is what it is. I can't wait until they pan to Kamala.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
We're going to war with Canada,
During every
guys.
single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
If that's on your bingo card, America First, write it down.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
Keep in mind that Biden and Kamala are like right behind him.
Create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free.
Pause for
America
claps.
will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country, sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly.
So he's calling out, the fact that we've been spending billions to Ukraine, to Israel, and meanwhile we have tragedy after tragedy happening here. And I get it, I hope he actually does something about it, but we'll see. I don't want to go to jail, so.
And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago, or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer.
Those people have homes. They have other homes they can go to, many of them. But it sucks to lose like a quarter of your wealth and your real estate. I get it.
Interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately.
This is where it gets a little nationalistic-y. But, I do agree the education system in this country is tragic. And that's one of the many things about it that's tragic. But there's a whole host of other issues that he's not really highlighting here. Parenting is one of them, technology, the iPad issues, the fact that a lot of these kids are just completely hopeless, But the fact that they hate this country is
to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
That's very powerful. We like it.
Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
This is where it gets a little culty. this radicalizes people like my mother, okay, like my mom, who I love very much, but she is easily influenced by speeches like this. She's like, well, did you know that Trump was ordained by God? That's the kind of thing that she's going to be spitting at me after she hears this, which I'm sure she already has. He knows who he's talking to when he says things like this.
Thank you.
It's the low-lying people. They're like, yeah, God did that. God saved him in that field.
Thank you very much.
Which maybe he did. I don't know. Possible.
That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Liberation Day. That's cute. It's going to be trending, I bet.
It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states.
Elon Musk is the African American he's referring to.
And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you.
This has to be telepromptered. I'm sure it is, because, he would be like, millions and millions of people. There were millions of people. Yeah, we had a great turnout. We had the best turnout in all of history. He's good when he's telepromptered. I'll say that.
For the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Hold up, I have to put up the FBI's recent tweet about MLK Day. And if you just want to read here the community note about how the FBI were the ones that tried many times to kill MLK and were likely the ones who succeeded in doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country, we will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
This is where, Trump is not let's be honest, he's not like a hard Christian or anything like that. He's not someone who's probably ever really gone to church. Or, not that you have to be whatever, who cares if you go to church. I'm just saying, I don't think that he's really someone who's lived a very godly existence. maybe him nearly being assassinated changed things. I don't know. I really think that it's just kind of a pandering moment to the many Christians that we have in this country. But moving on.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
You're not getting in. No one's getting in.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release.
And I think what he means by catch and release, I know some cops, not that I'm a cop supporter. I mean, individually, some cops are fine, but whatever. Whenever they pull someone over who doesn't have their papers, they're obviously not a U.S. citizen, they don't speak any English, they just have to release them no matter really what they're doing, as long as they're not committing any serious crimes. And that's kind of what we've been doing the last 4 years.
And I will send troops to the southern border.
I feel like this is going to be expensive, though, at
disastrous
least
invasion
initially.
of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Oh, shit. That means we could be drone striking the cartels, is what he means by that. And I mean, they're definitely no match for the United States military. Everything that they're doing to this country is abhorrent. The fentanyl crisis, the trank crisis.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities.
And he's going to have some issues with that, especially in Chicago, because their governor, and I'm sure their mayor, is not going to want to play ball. But moving on.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
We'll see if he's able to do that.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill.
That should also be on your bingo card. Drill, baby, drill. Alaska's about to be rich.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have: the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, all these engineers and all of these manufacturers and everybody who works at these, the big five, they're going to be well employed for a while. Probably a lot more jobs, I would assume, going to the auto manufacturing industry.
In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff.
Tariffs? Is that on anyone's card?
And tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
So instead of the IRS, we're going to have the ERS, the External Revenue Service, to other countries. I mean, if he can get rid of the IRS and just have the ERS, that would make many Americans
to restore
happy.
competence and effectiveness to our federal government, my administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge! Say Doge!
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
This should be something that everyone is on board with. We have obviously seen a ton of censorship over the last few years, especially on social media, on pretty much every platform. Certain words and phrases get you auto banned, and that's a problem. Should be a problem for everybody. I don't understand this, rhetoric that's been going around where it's like, well, I just don't like that person. I don't like what they're saying. It's hate speech, which isn't a real thing, so they should be canceled. Don't love that. Because if it happens to someone else, it could happen to you.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to
Biden's
happen.
right
It
behind
will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
I hope he
And
sticks
we
to
are
that.
going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Pronouns out of bio. You're done. We're done. It's no longer in season. It is out of season. You gotta pick one. Are you a male? Are you a female? Sorry, kids.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Not merit. Oh no.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Right? We had the whole non-binary movement that's been going on for a while, but I really think that it is last season. I mean, it's a trend. It isn't something that is tangible whatsoever. It's just a feeling that you decide that you have. I could decide right now that I'm non-binary, so it doesn't really mean anything. If you can be everything, right? If there's a million genders that are just based off of whatever your personality and interests are, then it doesn't really fucking mean shit. Moving on.
This week, I will
reinstate
like any
again.
Service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay.
That's like 4 years of back pay, by the way.
We'll sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission.
No more DEI in the military.
America's enemies.
As they should be.
Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest.
I'm going to put up what the military's looked like over the last 4 years.
Military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Never get into. We're not getting into wars between guys.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
There were still hostages over there that are like alive? That's crazy. American hostages? I mean, don't go to the Middle East,
America
I guess.
will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
The Gulf of America.
President McKinley made our country very rich.
Just as a fuck you to
through
Mexico.
tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman. and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project.
Just want to say I really like Teddy Roosevelt. He was a very hot president. You know, the whole cowboy thing.
Before, and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
China. It's ours. The Panama Canal, it's ours. Not the Panamanians, and not the Chinese.
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation.
Hell yeah.
One that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Hold up. What? Why are we so interested in Mars? This is what bothers me about people like Elon Musk. It's like, I mean, I think that he's probably grateful somewhat for America because America made him the richest man on earth, right? But I don't think he really cares that much about America. I don't think he cares much about Earth. I think that he's just all about space. And it's a little dicey, his beliefs. I don't really know what his thing is. He wants to put, a chip in your head. It's weird. Getting people to Mars is going to be a tough one.
Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
We did some good shit. It's true.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that.
That's fair. I mean, a lot of people said he would never be president, and he's done it twice.
Something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God.
Indivisible.
So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will.
I hope someone got pregnant on the 20th. I hope a lot of people got knocked up just because Daddy's back. Right? It was Liberation Day.
Will win for you. We're going to win like
more babies on Liberation Day. We'll see how many kids are born like.
Thank you.
What is that? It's October. Wait. Yeah. October.
Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater
It'll be the greatest
than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Happy Liberation Day! And if you're a liberal, you're going to jail. Good night.